Hi everybody, here's Monday's maths lesson. I hope you had a lovely weekend. On screen you can see today's starter task. It's called No Partner. It says most of the numbers in the list above can be added to another number in the list to give a sum of 59. Remember that sum means adding two numbers together. Which numbers do not have a partner? I completed this earlier, so I was systematic. I circled them in pairs and then I worked out which ones didn't have a partner. Pause the video, have a go. Okay, I'm now going to reveal the answer so you can mark your own work. Hopefully you've written yours down because obviously you couldn't draw on the screen because it's a video. So the ones that I've got left, 16, 20, 24, 49 and 46. Have I done it right? Do you agree with me? Let me know on Teams afterwards. Now, here's one of the key charts that we've been looking at the past 3 days. I'm now going to say a random percentage or fraction, and you're going to say an equivalent statement. 9/10. What percentage is the same as 9/10? Hopefully you said 90%. What decimal is equivalent to 9/10? Hopefully you said 0.9. What about 2/10? What's the percentage equivalent and what's the decimal equivalent? Okay, 2/10 equals 20% or 0.2. Okay, here's another way to visualise it. Hopefully you're getting confident and hopefully you're able to link these three facts together. Now, you can't shade 70% of the shapes in because you don't have it in front of you, but I would just like you to write down, if you were to colour this square in, how many little squares would you colour? And if you were to colour this stick in, how many squares would you colour in so that 70% of the shapes are shaded? Pause the video and write down your numbers. Okay, I'm going to reveal the answer. So hopefully you wrote down 70 squares for this big square and 7 squares for the stick. The point is that 70% equals 70 hundredths and 7 tenths. Now here's a question for you to think about. You will need to link your knowledge. Let me go back. You're going to need to link to, let's give you a little reminder. Hang on, let me find it. Link to this method. Okay, that's your clue. Can you do this question? What percentage of the beads in this bracelet are red? Pause the video, do some workings and make a link to the question I just showed you on screen. Okay, if you're stuck, I'm going to give you some help. If you've finished, you're going to see if you did the same method that I am going to show. First of all, I counted how many red beads there are in the bracelet. I put 6. I wanted to write the fraction of the beads in the bracelet. So 6 is how many I've selected. What's my denominator? How many beads are in the bracelet altogether? That will be the denominator. What is it? Hoping you said 20. Okay. 20 beads in the whole, 6 are red. So the fraction is 6/20. That's not the answer to the question though, because the question said percentage. Which number goes with percentage? I'm hoping you said 100. Now, if you haven't already, see if you can complete this, otherwise I'm going to give you the next step. So next, you need to turn 6/20 into a fraction which has the denominator 100. Once you've got this fraction, you can easily turn it into a percentage. Remember, you can draw your loops on. Whatever you do to the denominator, you do the same to the numerator. Pause the video if you haven't already finished this and complete this question. I know you can do it now. Right, 20 multiplied by 5 is 100. So because I've multiplied the denominator by 5, I multiply the numerator by 5 as well. So I've got 30 hundredths. So what percentage of the beads in the bracelet are red? 30% is the answer. Well done if you've got there, going through the steps with me. And I'll be extremely impressed if you manage to do that all on your own before I showed you my workings. Make sure you let me know on Teams afterwards. Right, below is a pattern of tiles on the bathroom wall. Claire says 12% of the tiles have flowers on them. Explain why Claire's reasoning is incorrect. Think about everything you've learned so far about percentages. Think about the key numbers. Think about the equivalence facts. Pause the video and think about why she's wrong, and work out what the right answer should be. Right. So, I'm guessing that Claire did. Okay, I can see there's 12 red tiles. So, she's just literally put a percentage sign after it and put 12%. That's a common mistake that happens in school. She's wrong because I cannot see 100 tiles in this picture altogether. I can see, hang on, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right, so actually, there's only 50 tiles here. So you can't turn that into a percentage straight away because percentages are always out of 100. So she's wrong straight away. Let's now do it let's do it right this time. So on this wall, 12 50ths have patterns on them. Now, as we did before in the bracelet question, you need to write down, what do you need to write down? If you're confident, pause the video and turn 12 50ths into a percentage. If you want a clue, what you need to do is write down equals 100. You need to find the equivalent fraction which has a denominator 100. So what do you do to 50? What do you multiply 50 by to get 100? When you've worked that out, do the same to the numerator. Pause the video and have a go. Right, so that was the next step. 50 multiplied by 2 is 100. So I did 12 multiplied by 2, which is 24. So what percentage have a pattern of flowers on them? 24%. Are you getting confident? Let me know afterwards. So there's our key grid that we've been looking at for the past couple of weeks. This is, let's have a look how many more tasks we've got today. Ooh, a couple more tasks. I'd like you to either complete the whole table or just complete as many as you like. Obviously, the more you complete, the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to remember these key facts. So write down on your piece of paper the fraction, decimal and percentage that are all equivalent. Pause the video, have a go. Remember to make links to the key fact table. So I've revealed the decimals, so you can mark the decimals so far. 43%, 0.43. Remember, we just moved the digits 2 places. I know from last week that 1/5 is equal to 0.2. 75%, 0.75. Right, okay, so mark your decimals. If you haven't finished, complete the other parts because that might have helped you out. Otherwise, let's carry on and mark the rest. So I popped in So on the decimals, if I didn't recognise it as a key fact, I just popped it on top of 100. So 0.43 equals 43 hundredths. 0.27, that's not a key factor of mine, so I just put 27 hundredths. But 0.8 is a key fact. I know that's tenths, so I chose 8 tenths. Could have also chosen 4/5. Now let's mark the percentage part. 27%, 20%, 9%. Okay, mark your own work. Now, final task. Convert these percentages to fractions in their simplest form. Simplest form. So, for example, when I was talking before and I said, I'd written down 0.8 as 8 tenths. And I said you could also put 4/5. 4/5 is the simplest form because you cannot divide any further. 4/5, that's the end of the fraction equivalent train. Look at these. So let's start off together. If you feel confident there, you can press pause and do this straight away yourself. So what I did first was I identified the numbers which I have a connection with. So I know that 80% links to fifths, because we did that last week. I know that 50% links to the denominator 2. I'm pretty confident that these will be the simplest form because they're my key facts. So please write down those straight away. Write down the key facts. 80% equals, 50% equals. Then press play and we'll continue together. So 80% equals 4/5, 50% equals a half. So they are in the simplest form. Next, but I'm looking at 53, 45, 68. Now, I know that one of those numbers is a prime number. It's only got two factors, 1 and itself. So I know that it will have to go on top of the denominator 100. Which one of these numbers is a prime number? Okay, let's see if you got it right. 53 is a prime number. So 53 out of 100 is the simplest form because you can't divide these numbers by the same number to simplify it. But 45 and 68 aren't prime numbers. So these aren't in the simplest form. We need to simplify them. So I've got those 3 completed. We're going to work on these 2 now. Now, I know that 45 and 100 are both in the 5 times table. They're both multiples of 5. So I've set it up for you. Copy it onto your page and complete the equivalent fraction. 100 divided by 5 is? 45 divided by 5 is? Write it down, please. 9/20. Did you get it right? Now I'm looking at 9 and 20, I'm thinking I cannot divide those by the same number, so that's simplified. That's finished. I'm wondering if you can simplify 68 hundredths yourself. There's a little clue here. See if you can do it. So first I divided by 2 because I know they're both even, so I just thought I'll just divide by 2. So I got 32/50. I looked at both those numbers like I did with 9/20. But this time I thought, well, actually I could divide by 2 again. And if you can divide by 2 again, you need to do it. Otherwise it's not simplified. So do this for me. Divide by 2 again. I got 16/50. Did you get the same? Now, I should have carried on because I can divide by 2 again, so I need to carry on. You do the next step for me, please. Now, did you get 8/25? That's the answer. Well done if you got there. That's the end of today's session. Well done for working really hard this week. Please share your work with me on Teams, and I'll see you back next time for the next lesson.